Hey, John.
Hey, Eric.
How's it going tonight?
It's going well. It's going well.
I asked you first this time.
It's a perfect greeting.
It
Nothing wrong.
is.
Nothing wrong with that greeting. I guess my sense of this week is that it's not as big a news week as last week, but I'm not sure if that's because I'm not like just flat on my back reading reading news because I was sick last week, so I
Right.
ingested a lot of stuff. Or maybe it really was just as crazy a week as it seemed like
Last
it
week was nuts.
I'm choosing to think that I'm just busier this week and I'm being more productive.
My wife and daughter are out of town, so it's just been me and my son trying to entertain a 12-year-old boy and keep a day job.
Right,
It's
over
busy.
spring break.
Yes, over spring break, so there's no school
Right.
to help out. We actually took off a little early today and went and saw Ready Player One.
Don't tell me anything.
I won't ruin it for you.
I gotta see that this weekend.
I told him he has to read the book now.
Yeah, the I'm not sure that the book would make sense to somebody that didn't grow up in the 80s. Maybe it's there was a lot of nostalgia in there, you know?
Yeah, so you'd miss out on the nostalgia, but
Does it still read?
you get the story.
You said your daughter read it. Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she did.
Well, that's good.
But she was already kind of a retro geek anyways.
Oh, that's cool.
All my kids love the 80s music when I play it in the car. We go on road trips and and it's not really force. They get to listen to 80s music. So
I think
it works out.
My 12-year-old would think that I was torturing him and the worst father in the world if I made him listen to 80s music.
Somehow my kids have decided that it's cool.
Well, maybe eventually. He likes all this, what is it called? No copyright sounds or something like that. It's a bunch of, just YouTube music, seems like. And, well, some of it's really okay. I mean, a lot of electronica, which, you know I like the Pet Shop Boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyway. So what you got for me this week?
So this week is the reminder: ransomware and WannaCry has not been squashed. A disease you think you've taken care of, but you really haven't. Because I think it was about a year ago, right about now, when WannaCry first kind of hit the scene in a big way. But there was an article on Wednesday that it appears Boeing was hit by the WannaCry computer virus. And I think initially it was a bigger scare than it turned out to be, at least according to the articles I've read.
Patch.
Just because you think you've patched and you have everything, maybe you haven't. It's also a reminder that bigger enterprises with huge numbers of machines that do very important things. One of the articles noted that there were some machines that maybe they were nervous about patching or upgrading because they've had bad experience in the past. I don't know if it was specific to Boeing, but it was, why don't people patch? Because it's taken down their business and they've lost money on other patches. So they try to use other mitigation techniques to protect their devices.
Yeah, envelop it or do it. Try to handle it at the network boundary, or especially if they're purpose-built devices on like a factory floor or something like that. That is, you really can count the dollars per minute that it's down, and if it winds up being a real impact, not just a reboot or something like that, it can be serious. But at the same time, it's risk is probability of event times damage, right? Possible damage. And in that case, there's both the damage to, what it takes, the direct damage for, the system being offline or the system becoming infected, but then also the indirect damage for, reputation or, what happens when you are on, was that a Wired magazine or something like that? I don't remember what the link was from, but publicity's not necessarily good.
Well, and apparently they caught it early enough, so good on them that they were prepared for it. But there, like you say, another reason: patch your machines, make sure everything is protected in some layer somewhere.
Well, the thing is for some of these things, I mean, it's no surprise, but one of the things that can happen in many environments that use a lot of virtual machines, at least, is that if you don't have a way of scanning machines that are offline or images of machines that have been snapshotted or something like that, you can roll back to an image that maybe it wasn't infected, but it's at least vulnerable. And depending on how often that's happening in a large environment, just that window of vulnerability can be enough to, allow for propagation.
So it reminded me of it's still around and a viable attack vector, I think, for somebody. A year ago, we were digging into what was going on, and that was back in the good old days when I actually had a half a Bitcoin in my account so that we could try tracing the ransom payment if we wanted to do that.
That's right. You sent me $5 worth of Bitcoin last March or April, and it was worth like $30 or $35, and then it became worth.
It bumped you up to a new tax bracket, is what that $5 did.
That's right. Well, I haven't sold it, so I don't think I have to declare capital gains.
I liked your chia. What's the new? What is it? Some new chia is a Bitcoin replacement that uses proof of time and proof of space. I'm gonna have to dig into that one at some point. But let's not get too far off topic here.
Yes, we're not talking about Bitcoin or
I was really trying to avoid.
I'm glad you got my
cryptocurrency conversation
joke, though, in the subject. That's good. WannaCry.
So
yeah.
So good on Boeing for
sound like they had a scare. I'm not even sure why or how it became so public, because it sounded like at the end of the day it was like, not that big of a deal. So presumably they had both mitigations in place as well as the response. So good for them.
All right, well that was mine. Just a reminder, hey, ransomware's still out there. We talked a lot about crypto jacking and CoinHive and some of the other things recently. Let's not forget about ransomware.
My I guess a related thing. I spoke with my father this morning. He's like, because he got an error message trying to restore his computer, crashed, got a new hard drive. He was trying to restore it. He got some FPI warning, and he sent me a screenshot, and he said that he talked to my brother, and he said that it might be ransomware. And I did a little bit of Googling. I'm like, no, it's not ransomware. You're using HP restore disks or something like that, and you've got a different hard drive than it thinks, and it's just there, But he was totally convinced. He had a case of ransomware this morning. Remember when I said it's a good idea to have an online backup? Did you take me up on that? Anyway. All right, my topic?
Yeah.
All right, mine was, I thought this was fun. This was a paper by some, let's see, it says Chinese computer scientists from academia and industry have published a paper about how you can use targeted infrared light to fool facial recognition software. So I thought this was particularly interesting because remember, a couple things. The first of which is, I know you haven't jumped onto the iPhone 10 yet, but I have a 10. So it unlocks with my face, and I have become very used to it. In fact, I pick up Shirley's phone now or something like that, and I'm swiping going, why does this not work? Your phone is broken. And she, of course, picks my phone up and goes, why does your phone not work? It's broken. Where do I put my finger? And
you're Scotty from Star Trek. What was it, Star Trek 4? Picking up the mouse.
Hello, computer. Why? How quaint. Okay, you can't. We don't have video here, but I'm cracking my knuckles like Scotty. Okay, well, the 4 people that are old enough to get that joke. I haven't yet got my kids to watch those movies, by the way, which I'm a little sad at, but take a little Star Trek detour here. We are partway through the 3rd season, about almost through the 3rd season of Next Generation, working our way slowly through. Anyway, back to the facial recognition. So
Right.
Let me actually read this sentence here. And I'm quoting here, given the sizes of lit infrared LEDs smaller than a penny, we show they can be easily embedded into a cap and can also be hidden in an umbrella or possibly even hair or a wig. Once the devices are turned on, infrared dots will be projected on the strategic spots on the carrier's face, subtly altering her facial features to induce a misclassification in a facial recognition system. This helps the attacker to evade detection, or more seriously, through adjusting the positions, sizes, and strengths of the dots to impersonate a different person to pass facial recognition-based authentication. This attack is called the invisible mask attack in our research. So, first of all, they have a good name, invisible mask attack. That's pretty cool. And second of all, it's very interesting to think about if cameras are using infrared to detect, right? Because my phone can unlock even if I'm in a dark room, right? It's using infrared to unlock. Can you basically throw specific spots on my face to alter where my cheeks are or how much is returned in different areas to fool it into thinking that I'm somebody else? Or just to fool any facial recognition system that is, watching people walk down the street.
Well, I think I would be more inclined, if I were a more paranoid person, to investigate or use this type of system as opposed to face paint. So people were painting their faces black and white or tattoos or whatever in angles and whatnot to fool facial recognition cameras.
Right.
But if this is simply just wearing a baseball cap with, some infrared LEDs on the brim, that could be kind of cool.
I mean, it doesn't seem like that would help for things in the visible spectrum. So, most CCTV type cameras, I think, are visible light. But so I don't know. It seemed to me. And, who knows? I found this to be a intriguing thought experiment this week. I found this to be more persuasive for the, unlocking of devices, trying to use your, biometrics as a security mechanism. Because Apple said, at least when they first released Face ID, that it was, 10 times stronger than the fingerprint. Mm-hmm. So instead of being, I think it was 1 in 100,000 chance of collisions for the fingerprint recognition system, this is supposedly 1 in a million or something like that. But this seems like it would, if this is truly valid, this seems like it would maybe flip those back again.
Yeah, and I think it's another example as we become more confident or comfortable with machine learning algorithms for doing things, that will be this is an attacker, an adversarial example to break your machine learning or your algorithms.
Absolutely.
It seems like this would be part of that new area of research in the adversarial machine learning space.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the examples that they use, and we'll have to put the link to the archive.org paper up here, but the examples that they have are explicitly trying to paint IR spots on people's faces and then, computing the distance using machine learning algorithms between, targeted, it's not just that I want to look different from what my normal face shape would be, but no, I want to be able to unlock Eric's phone by, painting my cheekbones and my nose and other things in the right way. And I'm sure that in fact, they mention does help if you start with relatively similar features.
I guess I missed that point then. So you're saying, because I didn't drill down and read the detailed articles, that the idea with this would be, I have a picture of Eric and I have someone who has similar features to Eric. And what I'm going to do is build these LEDs so that they trick the iPhone or whatever, the iPhone 10, into thinking that's really Eric, because I'm going to change what the camera sees, what the infrared camera sees on, not Eric's face. This is weird talking about myself in a third person. Not my face, to be able to mimic my face.
Right.
That was a long way to say this is a way to trick a camera into thinking it's somebody else.
Yeah. No, look at. Unfortunately, the paper doesn't seem to have page numbers on it. I can't say go to page 17, but yeah. So if you look about 2/3 down the paper, there's a matrix of 12 faces. With basically they're taking 4 different people using the same researcher. I presume the researcher is
gotcha.
one of the authors. And then, computing the original distance from the face, and then, painting the IR on, his face in such a way as to minimize or reduce, maybe not minimize. I think minimization would require the ability to test, but at least reduce the distance from the victim face to the matching face. Yeah. Very, interesting, huh?
I missed that part. I mean, I saw that, but I guess I just missed the part that you actually, the idea was to open, for example, use it to open an iPhone, even though you're not that person.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't talk, or at least, I didn't notice them talking specifically about trying to unlock an iPhone per se, but it was more about, taking a facial recognition algorithm and then, fooling it in specific ways. But also trying to fool it in ways that did not require knowing the algorithm. So it was black box, or at least attempting to get to black box testing.
Huh.
How do you like that one?
Both cool and scary.
You gonna go run grab an iPhone 10 real quick?
Yeah, I mean, well, we've read the ones about, they put some dots on a stop sign, and that fools automobiles into thinking that it's not a stop sign, or put some dots on a speed limit sign and it thinks it's supposed to now be 65 instead of 25. So I guess I never, at least mentally, transferred that to actual faces until right now.
All right. Well, that was all. I only had the one thing for this week. You got anything else, or should we go to something fun?
No, let's jump into the something fun, because mine's hilarious.
All right. I'm not sure mine's that cool, so we better do yours first. And I will pale in comparison.
Now I've completely oversold it now.
That's right. You set high expectations. It's the way to be.
Well, Troy Hunt's Have I Been Pwned, his passwords API, right? That's out there. Anybody can use it. You and I are both big fans also of 1Password, Password Manager. It's now integrated, checking for pwned passwords, or checking for passwords that have been seen in a breach, so are no longer secret. He's got 500 million of them. We've talked about it before.
Yep.
And I think it was a couple weeks ago, I made a joke about how long before, maybe we should make a game out of this, Well, right. Guess what? There's a game. It's awesome. Well, sorry, I'm overselling it again. So, mylittlepwnage.eu, and it's got a pony. It's got a unicorn pony throwing up rainbows, but it's a game. And so you go in and you can do single player, multiplayer. It will show you a password, and then you need to try to guess how many times it's been leaked. And then you get points for being closer than the next guy. And you can play against other people. Just a funny, hey, someone actually made a game out of this. And I think I saw it because Troy Hunt tweeted it with a little, "This is hilarious."
That's fun.
It's
very
fantastic, game, but it's fun.
No, I just got. It said how many times was Daddy1 used as a password, and I said 60,000. But it was actually 114,732.
But you get
Daddy
points.
won. Yep, I got 64 points.
All right. Mine was password with an exclamation mark.
Oh, gosh.
And I guessed 82,483 times. Oh, no. That's how many times it was leaked. 82,483. And I had guessed 234,234. And I got 47 points for it. So.
There you go. But you could, that's kind of cool though. You could do multiplayer. We could have like gone in and be competing against each other. That's
right.
funny.
See who can get the most points, who can get closest.
All right. That's awesome.
Anyway, so that was my something fun. Kind of also goes on with my little side project at work this week. I took that full database of the 500 million passwords and I wrote JavaScript. Sorry, you didn't hear that. Put a little front end to it at the office so we could do some research without actually hitting Troy's API, not charging him the money for kind of some internal research we're doing at work around passwords and data like that. So
poor Eric had to write some JavaScript.
Yes, I wrote an Express.js.
Did you?
Although I think we talked about this before.
Did we mention it last week?
I think I did, but I didn't say what it was. I just said that I actually...
okay. That's right. Yeah. That was right. Because you, we were talking about the developer survey and you said, I won't say I've actually written a little bit of JavaScript this week. Yes. That's okay.
I need to have a rant about JavaScript someday.
And wasn't it easy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was very annoyingly easy.
Exactly. It just goes to show that actually the language doesn't matter as much as the tooling. I mean, not that the language doesn't matter at all because, well, yeah.
Yes.
But tooling makes a big difference.
So I'm looking forward to when I need to rebuild that, having it download 853 packages. I have no idea what they do, but they're important to make my web server work, apparently. My 5-line program.
No, dude, that's
function.
the way things are at the moment. Yeah. NPMI, 742 packages later.
Oh my goodness.
Like, we don't need to go there again. All right. So I've got, you know what? I'm going to double up. I'm going to do 2 something funs this week.
All righty. Bring it on.
Neither of them are particularly big. And so my first one, I don't even have this, but I want it. So, it is the Amplify Teleport. So I think this came out this week. But it's basically a little box you can carry with you when you travel, and it will do a VPN back to a peer back inside your home network and basically give you a local Wi-Fi that is VPN to your home. And so you can access your computer and everything else, but you can also, and you're also then protected against the, whatever Wi-Fi you're in the hotel or.
This is brilliant. Why have I not seen this before? Or has it just been too hard? This just seems...
Can you believe it? Isn't it awesome?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a very simple, I plug it in. Well, actually, I guess, how does it make its connection to the...
You have to plug it in to...
yeah. So it's not like it's got an LTE...
no, I don't think so. No.
Like that.
But you're not connecting your laptop to the hotel Wi-Fi. You're connecting to...
No, you got to connect the Amplify thing to the hotel Wi-Fi or hotel hardwire somehow.
But still.
Okay.
And I got to say, I mean, just going back to... you got me into the Eero last couple of years ago. I'm not unhappy with the Eero, but not long after I bought in and kind of did my whole system, Ubiquity, who is the one who made the Amplify, they made kind of a Eero competitor mesh network. There are times that I wish I had withheld for a few months and then gone with the other, because Eero is awesome for like not having to configure anything. But Eero is not geek friendly. Yeah,
I'll give you that one. That's my one. Well, not one. That's one of my complaints is I just want to know what IP address this device is. Let me search for it because I have hundreds of them. I don't want to scroll through and look at anyways.
Right. So
slowly they're adding though. They're adding things over time.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not complaining about Eero, but Ubiquiti is totally like historically Ubiquiti is the geeks router. And I actually have a Ubiquiti edge router out in my barn. And I guess maybe someday we could talk about how in the world John gets network. But anyway, I like it. It's awesome. It's very configurable. In fact, it's configurable to a fault. But the Amplify also looks pretty awesome. Anyway, but this was my first something cool. This seems like this would be really cool. I don't think you have to have the rest of the Amplify system to make it, to use it. But
yeah, it feels like you would just plug it in at home. A box. It looks like it's just a box at home, and then you take this box on the road with you. And if it's as simple as loading an app on your phone and connecting to it while you're at the hotel Wi-Fi and going through the captive portal or whatever usually is in, the hotel Wi-Fi, this just feels brilliant.
Yeah.
If it's as easy to configure as one would hope, I might pick one of these up.
Well, $229 or $230, $229.99. Yeah. Well, there you go. So that's my first something fun, and then my second something fun is actually much less techy than this, I guess. But last week, while I was down for the count, I watched a whole lot of YouTube laying in bed, and.
You millennial, you.
Maybe I am. I don't know. Because the thought of actually sitting down and like watching a show, I guess I did watch. I watched through Altered Carbon a few weeks ago. I ran across this link for a guy making rings out of metal and carbon fiber, and this. So the link I'll put in here was him making a carbon fiber and meteorite glowing ring. And I just thought that was totally cool.
Glowing ring? Is it powered?
No, it
just reflects light really well.
Having never seen one in person, it looks like it's the sort of thing that, how there's the t-shirts and the other things that absorb sunlight and then will reflect it out over or glow.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like that kind of thing. So he's like putting powder in, and along with adhesive or epoxy or something like that in the glowing area. Because it's not like solid meteorite or anything like that. It was like meteorite flakes. But
so you could have your own Infinity Stone.
Yeah, basically. But so I watched two of these. I watched him use his lathe, and I was like, oh wow, you are cool. And I think there was a reference that to his Kickstarter or something like that. So it was sounds like started on Kickstarter or something like that. But anyway, I thought this was cool and worth a 10-minute watch.
I will have to watch the video now. Have not watched it yet.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. There's another one. A Green Lantern ring. Oh, come on. I have to watch that next.
Of course.
I'll watch that after we hang up. All right. Good for the night?
Yeah.
Sounds like we're done.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, Eric. Bye.
We'll see you.